pwede na kayo bumalik?
Yes, pwede na kami bumalik. Pinababalik na kami actually. Pinababalik.
Okay.
Level 2 na lang kasi ang Metro Manila. So,
Oo nga eh. Actually kami sa Wednesday, ayun, babalik kami ng office. For the first time after more than 2 years.
Okay, we are live.
Oh, yeah.
We're live.
Namin, Mr. Chair.
Yep. Share lang natin.
Yun. Press Jen.
Question, nandito na. Nandito question.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, question. Alam mo ba ito? Headset na lang ako.
Good afternoon, mga kapatid.
Share ko muna itong video.
Ang aga naman ni Miss NCR Chapter President. Miss Jennifer.
Miss Jennifer.
Si Jules, hindi siya late today. Hello.
Oy, Brother Jules, kumusta ka na? Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Brother Lawrence or Mr. Lorenzo. Good afternoon din sa iyo, kapatid na Mike Angelo. No? So medyo maaga tayong nag-live ngayon para makapagkwentuhan muna tayo. So teka, nasa lobby daw si VP Sheila. Ayan na. Baka pagalitan tayo nito.
Hindi daw siya pinapapasok.
Sorry naman, VP Sheila.
Sorry. I-entertain namin yung mga early birds.
Hi, VP Sheila.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon, VP Sheila.
Hello.
Down ng internet namin.
Down?
Ngayon,
Oo, hindi ko alam eh. Ano lang ako sa LTE. Ayan, in-adjust ko yung logos eh kasi last time natatakpan.
Ikaw nag-adjust nito, VP Mia?
ay si VP Sheila po.
VP Sheila?
Siya yata yung gumawa doon eh.
Talaga naman. May ibang talent ka pala, VP Sheila.
A little.
A little.
Kamusta ang Valentine's Day celebrations?
Alam ko ikaw masaya, nakita kita sa hotel.
Ikaw din, ang dami mong chicks eh. Kita ko si VP Alex eh. Sabi ko, si VP Alex to ah.
Kala
Tapos may limang
mo hindi ko
chicks
kasama si Mean. Nakasama ko si Mean doon, syempre.
Oo nga eh. Nandun pala si Miss Mean.
Kulang ang walang chicks.
Ibig sabihin, parehas kayo ng pinuntahan nung V-Day.
Oo, nakita kami. Nasa Siam.
Oy, Brother Sunny, magandang hapon din sa'yo. Itong partner natin, no? From Mandiant.
Alive na pala tayo.
Sunny, good afternoon, Sunny.
Oo.
Cheer talaga.
Hinihintay na lang natin yung ating expert sa breach and cyber attack. Mr. Frederick Gonda.
Uy, si
Isang
Frederick.
magandang hapon ng Biyernes sa iyo, kapatid.
Afternoon, kapatid.
Nasaan ka ba? Nasaan ka ba ngayon, Mr. Frederick? Ay, si BP Marlon ng NCR chapter. Nandyan din. Magandang hapon, Brother Marlon. Batangas. Maghanda-handa ka na dyan at
Dadalawi ka namin.
pababa na yung COVID-related na mga cases. No? Paganda na yung situation natin. Uunahin natin Batangas.
Lapit lang dito sa amin ni Mr. Chairman yan.
Oo. Isang tumbling lang, nandyan na kami. Si Gursel is on the line. Ayan na yung ating expert. Gursel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Hey,
I hope you are doing good.
we
Hi,
are
Gursel.
always doing good, even if we are not.
Oh, great. So I have the same mentality. So
Yeah,
this is
because
good.
in
Same way.
cybersecurity, if a cybersecurity professional gets affected with all sorts of issues, then the whole community will become vulnerable.
Exactly. Totally agree.
We cannot focus on our own issues, on our own problems, because we need to be 100% up and operational.
Totally agree.
Yeah, that's the difference of doing cybersecurity, because you're not just doing a job, you are not just protecting your business, but you are actually protecting the community.
Very true. Very true, Mr. Press. Mr. Chair, because we recently had an event, even our president and CEO during when he talked about it, I I was teary-eyed after the
Okay.
talk. Because he was talking about security, and he said, it's attacking us it's more of personal already, so we have to treat cybersecurity as, we treat it as personal as well. So we protect every he mentioned some names. Those are victims of fraud, for example. So he was saying every Mark and every Mia and we have to protect them.
That's the we are done with the mindset of protecting our organization, protecting our business, protecting it did not bring us to an acceptable level of confidence, no? So we need now to protect our community. That should be our mindset, no? And we are lucky to have Miss Jen, the NCR chapter president, is inviting us to visit Bulacan.
Yes, Bulacan.
And with a promise of
We will be welcomed by the entire Bulacan.
we have a Bulacan chapter.
Mm.
We have Bulacan chapter. So maybe we can hey Jansu, good afternoon.
Right, Jansu?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon. We're good. How are you?
All good, thank you.
Are you in the same location as Gursel?
No, I don't think so.
Where are you at? What country?
No.
I'm in the capital, Ankara.
What time is it in your part of the world?
It's 12 p.m.
Okay.
12 noon, 12 noon.
The
Okay.
middle of today, not late, not early, is the best time of the day.
That's the best time. What about you, Gursel? What time is it in Turkey?
So we are in the same country, but with the different cities. So she's
Different.
in the capital city, and I'm in the Istanbul, which is the financial capital of Turkey, I can say.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, VP Mia and VP Alex, take it away.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, good afternoon sa mga kakwentuhang cyber natin. Again, it's Friday, it's 5 o'clock, so we're back in action. No? So today we will have the part 2 of the most anticipated breach and attack simulation. So last week, BP Mia, so we had a very interesting discussion on how we will validate yung mga technical controls that we put in place in our infrastructure. No? So most often than not, so we are putting technical controls, but the truth is we are never testing those controls. And what our partner from Picus discussed last week is just an overview, tip of that iceberg. And now, today, BP Mia, what's exciting is they will show the actual breach and attack simulation. No? So BP Mia?
Yes, actually, VP Alex, since we already introduced Gursel last time, so maybe just a recap as well on my side based from our discussion last Friday. First of all, Gursel shared, reasons why there's a need to assess security controls and why it has to be continuous. So these are because he mentioned some operational changes, emerging threats, as we know, digital transformation, and of course, some business drivers, right? And in fact, he also mentioned that in the US, I believe about 60% of the organizations apply changes to security controls at least once a week, right? I'm not sure how often it is for you, VP Alex, but now that we're saying it's at least once a week. And then we also learned from Gursel last time about BAS. I'm not sure if everyone recalls, but does everyone recall what BAS mean? So BAS, or what we call as breach and attack simulation.
Simulation.
Yeah, so these are tools which is being used to simulate the full attack cycle. And Mr. Chair was also explaining last week how it is being done, how it looks like, right? And then lastly, I do recall Gursel highlighting he mentioned to avoid assumptions. So he said, let us not assume. So, and that is very important. So today, we will see how Picus does that. Am I right, Gursel?
Correct.
Yep,
Correct.
yep.
Okay, so maybe you want to start already, Gursel? Thank you. We're excited actually to see.
Yeah, for those technical savvy persons na nasa audience natin, no? This is the
Yeah.
right moment. So we will do a hands-on live demo of the
Yes.
attack
Yes.
simulation. Go, Gursel. Floor is with you.
Okay. So can you give me a rights to share my screen, please? Then I will.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, go ahead.
Thank you. I just share. I think you can see the screen right now. So I will start a small presentation to explain some important points, and I will explain the use cases. So what can you achieve with the breach and attack simulation platform? Then I will connect my demo lab. I will show something on the UI. I will connect to my firewall. I will connect to my SIEM platform. Then I will explain the details on the platforms, on the tools. So basically, I will talk about the Picus capabilities, then I will jump to the use cases, then I will explain how the things are working. So, Mr. Chair already explained what kind of values that we can deliver by using breach and attack simulation last week, but in a nutshell, I will remind you. So basically, This is a tool that you can test your entire infrastructure by using real-world threats in a continuous way. Then you can find the gaps in terms of prevention plus detection. Then you can build a mitigation plan around that. Then you will have a chance to revalidate all your changes after you took an action. So, of course, with these tools, you can create your own use cases. But what we are seeing in the wild, mainly you can see or you can manage your security posture on your security controls. You can validate your security controls. You can enhance your detection capabilities, and you can verify your compliances by following the frameworks like kill chain, like MITRE ATT&CK. So these are the top use cases that we see. So this is how we are helping to you. Actually, we are providing a red teaming capabilities plus blue teaming capabilities. By combining these approaches, it is becoming a purple teaming. So we can say we are doing a continuous purple teaming. So we will hear these words a lot in the future. So because in the companies there are different type of teams that working on the red teaming area, blue teaming area. They are working in silos. So it is really hard to get them together, work on projects. So this is a tool that you can utilize both team for the same direction, for the same aim actually. So what we are providing, what I will show you. So Picus has an extensive threat database, including malicious code download, vulnerability exploits, and web application attacks. So we will utilize this threat. Then we will provide an insight what you are missing and what you are protecting. So at the end, you will get a result from the tool. So then, of course, you will see your gaps. So you will find out what should you do on your security controls. Then we will tell you specific signature sets for your security controls. So you will get that report. Then we will focus on the SOC side. From the detection perspective, you will identify what you are logging, what you are alerting, and what you are missing from the detection perspective. We will work some use cases about that. So at the end, you will get a result like this. So these numbers are really important for the customers. So you can utilize this information for defining a KPIs to your team or to your top management, or if you are getting a service from the third parties, you can utilize this for defining a KPIs as well. So of course, if something is missing, so we need to work on the mitigation part from the detection perspective. So what is missing and how can we add a value to you for collecting the right events to detect activities, or writing an offense rule based on MITRE ATT&CK or based on APT behaviors. So these are what we can get from the product itself actually. So now I will focus on 3 different type of use cases. So let's say if somebody asks a question to you, are you ready for XYZ ransomware? So there is no single answer, and it is really hard to get an answer for this, right? So now I will evaluate this use case in my lab. So it is pretty easy. This is my Picus management platform. What I did for you, I have one attacker machine, 2 victim machines, one inside the network, one inside the endpoint zone. So I have FortiGate as a firewall with the UTM features. Also, I have Splunk as a SIEM solution for threat hunting and incident response as an incident response platform. So let's find an answer about the ransomwares. As I explained, Picus has an extensive threat database. So without touching anything, system will make an assessment at the background by using these threats, and then it will create a visibility to you. At the end, you will see these numbers. So I executed 8,000 attacks for now. So it seems I'm stopping around 4,300 and I'm missing 4,200. So I can say 50-50. This is not a good result, but if I ask a question, do you know where you are from the stand of the security perspective, from the prevention perspective? It is not easy to get an answer, right? So that was another question. So am I vulnerable to ransomware type of attacks? Let's see. What will we see? So in the threat library, you can make some search by name or ID or other filters. So you can utilize these filters. I will use the name. So I'm wondering the Lazarus group. Let's see what we have in the Lazarus part. So Picus is providing, as of today, 66 different type of Lazarus variant. So I will choose some of them to see what's happening in my lab. So there is one in here which we added 2 months ago. So once you click the threads, you will get an information about the threads, like a hash of the file, description of the file. So you can get the external reference of thread. So let me check the external references, what the security controls are doing on that. So you can see which security controls are aware of this threat. So let me go back. I want to see the results in here immediately. Let's check this threat on the network level. So this assessment will highlight the weakness on my network. So there is a FortiGate only between the attacker and victim. So I just click the assessment button. Now something is happening between the machines. So the DMZ machine tried to download something malicious from the attacker machine, which is sitting on the cloud, and there was a security controls. So it seems not blocked. So now I have a clear answer about this threat. So you can extend these exercises by choosing another threat from the library, or you can leave it like that. So what should we do right now? So I understand that I'm not stopping this, but at the same time, what we have SIEM tool, right? So if our SOC professionals are analyzing the logs, I can go to them and I can ask them, okay, so what is happening on our infrastructure? And at the same time, I can talk with the blue teamers that manage the FortiGate, why I'm not able to stop this threat. I tested. So let's see what will happen. I don't know really. After I did this assessment, what the Picus is doing, Picus is connecting to SIEM platform at the same time to analyze the logs. So while I'm doing this assessment, FortiGate is feeding the SIEM solution at the same time. So if I can find something about this threat, I will tell you what's happening. Okay, I tested this threat. Now I'm waiting for the SOC operations. I'm giving some time to analyze the things on the network level, on the SIEM level, sorry. Now Picus is connecting to Splunk and making some queries like a blue teamers, like a incident handler guy, and then it will tell you what is happening on your infrastructure. So Okay, we couldn't stop this threat. So this is okay, but something happened. We find out there are some evidence about this threat on my SOC operation. Let's see what's happening. After the attack end, actually, I successfully collect some logs on my SIEM infrastructure. But still, why I'm not stopping this threat? Let's check the logs. What the logs are telling me. Okay, you try to download this, but we saw that Fortinet is monitoring this threat. Why? Because it's a virus, right? So I try to download some viruses. So this is the original logs that comes from the Fortinet. So let me check my configuration. So what it says, okay, it's a virus. This is the file hashes, so you can prevent it, and etc., etc. And you are using company antivirus policy, and the action seems you are monitoring it. So you can see the action in here. Okay, now I need to check my Fortinet. Why it's changed? It was preventing before. Maybe somebody tried to do something on my Fortinet to fix something, but it is not right because I'm missing the malicious codes anymore. Let's focus on the FortiGate side. So I have some policies that protect my DMZ infrastructure. Let's see. Okay, here I have the DMZ protection in here. What was the profile name? It was the company antivirus policy. So I will check the configuration. Yeah, here. Somebody changed this policy from blocking to monitor to fix something. Now I will revert it back. So now I update my security profile. Now it is, I hope it will prevent the viruses anymore. So I did these changes, but I need to be sure if the things are working as expected all the time, right? So after the configuration made. So let's go back. I will execute the same attack. So this was the threat that I download. Let's go to the assessment button and click again and then see what will happen. So, wow, it's not stopping still. Why? I don't know. Let's execute one more time. So I will expect to get a block. So it is really weird because I'm pretty sure that I changed my antivirus policy for blocking, right? So let's see what will the log says to us in the detection analytics part. So because sometimes even you configure your security controls, so the security controls may not work as expected, then you need to reach out to partner or vendor to chase them. Okay, the things are not stopping anymore. So you need to take an action according to this behavior. Maybe you need to install a fix or something like that. So I executed this and I will wait for the detection results, how this FortiGate sees this threat. Because in the previous assessment, I know that, so Fortinet is aware of this threat. So I'm seeing that this is a virus. Now I changed the configuration for preventing it, but based on my assessment, it seems Fortinet cannot stop this threat. But let's see what will happen after analyzing these activities. So I'm waiting for a bit. So while I'm waiting these results, also I would like to make some other tests, like if somebody download and execute the Lazarus threads in my endpoint, what will happen? So what I did, I just download something, that's all, to test the classic antivirus solutions. But at the same time, I can execute these threads on the endpoint because these threads are taking a different type of actions when they come to endpoint, like they're making registry changes, adding new users, making some other activities inside the endpoint. So I can say multi-action threads. These type of threads are taking multi-actions on the endpoint side. So I will try the similar threads on the endpoint, but right now I will execute. So let me go to the thread site first. So I was trying to download some malicious activities like this, the malicious code and etc. So these were well-known threats. So when you click on this, now I'm testing the well-known threats on the endpoint, on the endpoint and on the networking part as well. Now I will test something else, which is called attack scenarios. I will analyze that threat and I will explain some details. Okay, I found something in here. Where is that? So I will add more things. So yeah, show me the Lazarus on the attack scenario side. Okay, it's better. So the high risky ones, I will focus on this one. So this is a threat. There's a small description which is backed by the government. So when these guys are get inside your PC, they are trying to collect some system information. They are querying internet proxy settings. They are doing something else. See, so they are collecting many information, and then they are communicating with the CNC servers at the background. So I will tell you some important things in here. So all these actions are mapped to the MITRE attack framework. So MITRE is a framework that classify the hacker tactic and techniques. So if a ransomware came to my network, they will start doing this, and I don't know what will happen after they started to collect data and exfiltrate these information to the outside. So in the previous exercise, what I did, I just download well-known ransomware examples, and I saw that my security control is not stopping, and I identified that somebody changed my policy for monitoring purposes. Then I fixed it. So I try to validate my configuration, but still it fails. It is not stopping the threat. Even the security control is aware of that threat. I don't know why it's happening, but this is a real example, and the real things are happening on my lab. So I need to talk with the vendor to fix this issue. So now I'm extending this visibility to my endpoint. If I execute this threat on my endpoint, what will happen? The assessment still easy, just I need to click the assess button. So I don't have any expertise on the red teaming side, but Picus has. So now I just click the assessment button and I will just wait for the results actually. So it will take around 1 or 2 minutes because there are how many actions? 12 actions in here. So one by one, it will be tested at the background. So let's wait for the results. In the attack simulation site, so you will see the results in here. So after we complete the assessment, we will see that things will become red or green. The red means you couldn't stop, and if you see it's green, this means that you are successfully stopping this threat. So while I'm waiting this assessment, let's go back to analyze the detection findings. So what happened? I changed my configuration. Still, I'm not stopping. Okay, see, even I changed the policy, the configuration is not applied to my FortiGate. I don't know why it's not applied. Actually, I double checked. So now it seems blocked. I click OK. I click to apply. Now it must stop this type of threats actually. But I don't know why it's not blocking. Check the other one. So there is something else in here. Again, I'm checking the logs. No, it says it's monitored. It's not stopping the threat. So let me try one more time what is happening. So this was the thread that I execute. Oh no, that one. I tried two different actually. Let me try one more time and then see what will happen. Okay, no, it's not working as expected. So there's something wrong on my security control. Now I validate the things are not working and I'm not ready against to this type of threats anymore. So there's immediate action required on the network security control side. At the same time, what I did, so I executed Lazarus threat group on the endpoint. So I'm seeing that still I'm not stopping this threat on the endpoint level. So this means that my endpoint security control is not stopping this threat as well. So this means that if any kind of ransomware came to my network, this means it will affect my entire organization. None of my security controls are ready for ransomwares. So this is the answer for now. So blue teamers can understand what is wrong, so they can take an action based on this information. So, but also there is a SOC team, right? So they have a visibility on the network level, what they are missing, so how the security controls are acting against that kind of threats. But let's focus on the endpoint part. So after I did this assessment, so I will see more details about this assessment. So I executed the Lazarus. So at the end, I couldn't stop anything. So let me check the all actions. See, I couldn't stop any of the technique that I tried on the endpoint. Okay, this is from the prevention perspective. But what about the detection perspective? What is happening on the SOC side? After I execute this, of course, Picus will connect to endpoint to make some analysis. Then we will tell you something. Okay, it's already analyzed that. So this was the power Ratangba. So I couldn't stop, and at the same time, I couldn't detect anything. So now this can create a very big issue for the companies. So I'm not ready this type of threat from the prevention perspective also I'm not ready from the detection perspective. I don't know what to do actually. So this is a real issue for the companies. So no log, but Picus is doing these exercises in a continuous way. So previously, I was able to detect this kind of activities in my infrastructure. Look at the results, but I'm not able to detect this type of activities now. So the things are not right for my infrastructure. Again, maybe on the SIEM side, maybe on the endpoint side, there is something wrong. I need to fix that issue to collect right events. So everything is starting with the visibility, by gaining a visibility, right? So now I got my answers. I need to focus on the endpoint side to send the right logs to my SIEM platform to create the visibility. I need to focus on the FortiGate side to prevent the attacks. So these are very valid use case for any kind of customer actually. It doesn't matter if they have a red teamers or blue teamers. If you are caring about your data, you need to do this kind of exercises to understand where you are. So this is the first use case for us. So I find the gaps. I need to focus on the vulnerabilities, but we can extend these exercises to multiple APT groups, ransomware threats, and also there are many different type of threats in the wild. So I will extend these scenarios, by the way. Now I'm coming to the second use case. After I create a visibility about the ransomwares, now we are coming to SIEM efficacy, SOC efficacy. So as we know anymore, Picus has an extensive threat library. So we are making an assessment. So then creating a visibility, but I will specifically focus on the framework-based assessments, which is called MITRE. Now, I will make some assessment based on the MITRE, then I will focus on the SIEM side. How can I fix the issue on my SIEM? Am I getting offense or I'm missing some threats and etc. So again, normally you shouldn't touch anything in the Picus, but now for this workshop, I stopped the continuous assessment. I'm choosing the attacks one by one to show how easy to execute an attack by using the platform. So let's focus on the MITRE-based visibility. So this is the tactic and techniques that MITRE utilized. So after you get this visibility, you can create a strategy around this. Now, I'm seeing that there are lots of red things, which means you couldn't stop at the same time, maybe you couldn't detect. So I would like to test the valid account technique. So there is one technique action in here, which is listing the cached credentials on the endpoint. So this is an initial step for the threats, because the bad guys are trying to collect information about your infrastructure, then they are trying to make some brute force attacking or more things. So let me see which threats group are utilizing this technique. So there is one technique in here that I found which is not stopped. Let's make an assessment. So after this assessment, let's see if I can stop this threat or detect this threat in my SIEM solution. I will check it immediately after the analyzing done on the SIEM side. Now it seems I cannot stop this threat. That's fine. So sometimes you cannot stop the threats because so these type of exercises or commands can be utilized for the administrative purposes. Even you cannot stop these tactics or techniques, but you can focus, still you can focus on the detection part. Because what I did by executing this thread, you can see the action details. So we are providing some insights what the guys are doing. So the bad guys are trying to utilize the cmd key command to collect data like this, cmd key / list. So it is providing some username and passwords, usernames and server information. So in this machine, I'm seeing that there is a one cached users, which is my email address. Is there anything else? No, just this one. Okay. So if you saved your terminal server in here on this machine, the bad guys will see the terminal server IP address and the usernames. As a second action, they will try to connect those machines. Maybe they will try to do a brute force attacking to that machine. So I can take some action, of course. So what the Picus were telling to me, what should I do against this type of tactics? So in actions, we are telling you what should you do and how can you mitigate these type of behaviors. Actually, the things are easy. So now I will every operating systems comes with the Credential Manager. So you can see the credentials in here. You can disable the Credential Manager on your client computers, so the bad guys cannot gather any information. So I will just remove the credentials from here like this. I'm doing it in a manual way. See, this was my credential. Okay, so there is no credentials anymore on the machine. So when you execute the same command, oops, did I forget something? Wow. Okay. Manager, where is that? No generic, no credential, nothing. Okay. So I think it's coming. Still something coming from the registry. So this is not helping a lot. So what you need to do, you need to disable the Credential Manager for preventing this technique. So if you cannot do it in a production infrastructure because you are using server, operating system, and etc., and this is not a malicious activity, this is just gathering the information. So let me look at the detection part. Did I get this? Now my system connected to SIM and I saw that there is no log on the SIM side. So something is wrong on my SOC operations. So what can I do with this? And at the end of these things, I will see there is no log, there is no offense about this activity. Why? Because everything starts with the logs, right? So what the Picus will tell us, what should I do as a next step in here? So Picus is providing a detection offerings to you. So based on MITRE, so on the valid account things, we are telling you, okay, so these you need to collect, first of all, Windows security events. And even you collect the security events, you need to apply this group policy to generate the right event IDs on the endpoint side. And then if you want to raise an offense, you need to use this query for raising an offense on your Splunk, on your QRadar, or on your other SIEM solution. So this is the unique value proposition that we are providing to our partners and the customers as well. So I think detection is still continue at the background. Okay. So it is trying to validate things at the background, but during this assessment, what should I do? I need to connect to that endpoint to understand what is wrong with this endpoint. So first of all, what we said, so you need to be sure if the logs are coming from this endpoint to your SIEM solution. So I know the problem, so I will not spend some time for analyzing the issue. I know there are some problems with the forwarding service in here, which is stopped right now. Now I'm starting it. This will allow us to forward all logs to my Splunk. So now, and also there is a sysmon. So also I'm collecting logs by using the sysmon. So what will happen if I execute the same attacks again? So this threat will be detected on my Splunk infrastructure. So let me execute this threat again, and then see if the threats will be stopped or not. So I can use this part. I'm going to do the assessment button. I clicked. Okay, so it seems it's not blocked still, okay, but at least I need to see some logs on my endpoint. So this activity will be seen in my SIEM platform. So I'll make some search. Okay, this is the endpoint machine. Show me the last 5-minute logs. So yeah, the logs are coming to my infrastructure anymore. Things are good. And I'm expecting to see these logs in the detection analytics. Then I will tell you what is happening on the detection part. So this will show you, okay, there is a log about this threat, which is good. So after that, if you want to raise an offense about this threat, also Picus were telling you which kind of query you can use on your Splunk platform to raise an offense. So I will go to the mitigation part again for getting the offense rule from here. So we are telling you, okay, this is the query that you can utilize to find this query. So put the query in here and make the search. Okay, I found an activity in here. So now I can save this activity as an offense in my SIEM solution. So let's check the log details. So somebody create a process which is starting with the CMD key exe, and then Gursel is doing that. So there's some information in here. Also inside this log, I will show you the command, exact command in here. okay, somebody execute this one and somebody execute this command to gather your credentials on that machine. Now I can save it as an offense in here. So you can define a name. Now actually I'm creating an offense rule based on MITRE tactic and techniques. So you can utilize these options. Okay, do it for 1 year, and then you can trigger some conditions. You can trigger alert when you see these activities. If you see this activity once in a in 5 minutes in 3 computer, so you can define this offense rules based on your needs. So I'll choose per result, and then you can add more actions based on your needs. So I can create a notable event, which is the offense management for Splunk. So the incident responders will take care of that kind of stuff. And also I can send an email to dedicated person when they see this type of activities. So I already saved one offense in here. I will enable that. No, where is the alerts in here? Okay, I save it in here. So valid account technique. Now it is disabled. Now I'm enabling it. Come on. Okay. I think I enable it. No. Couldn't I? Yes, I want to enable it. Okay, it's enabled. Now, if somebody make an attack or if somebody try to do something with that technique, now my SIEM platform will generate an offense and I'll take an action against that behaviors. So I see the viewpoints. Now I created an offense rule, and then I'll take an action when I see that kind of. Okay, so now it is detected, but still there is no offense, right? So I would like to see some details in here. So I made an attack. So attack is logged, not blocked, but there is no offense about that. So Picus is here what happened. So you can see logs in here. So if you click on that details, so you can see same logs that you see on the SIEM platform. Now I can reassess this threat and I can see there is an offense on my Splunk platform. So I will execute the same attack again. Then I'm expecting to see some offenses. So again, it will take some time, around 2 or 3 minutes. So while I'm waiting these results, I couldn't stop. I successfully logged this activity, but there was no offense. So I got the mitigation. I apply it to Splunk. Then I'm expecting the offense will generate on the Splunk. So there was another use case, which is the third one. So it is, let me show, the security device effectiveness. So actually, while I'm testing the ransomware readiness, I saw that there is something wrong with my FortiGate antivirus module. So, but you know, there are huge database in here. So I'm testing all these threats, then I'm telling you what is wrong with your infrastructure.
Gursel,
Yep.
we are almost out of
Time?
time. Yeah, and
Yeah.
anyway, for our viewers, we are launching a training for this Picus, right? I think it's happening in March. Because we have questions, and we don't want them to uh, be overwhelmed with this information for just 1 hour.
Okay.
With just 1 hour,
Okay.
and it's too much already. I know it's too much already. I think the best message that this Picos uh, has brought us is that you can check whether your security controls are effective in blocking and preventing a specific attack. And to
Yeah.
me,
This is the first message.
yes, and to me, uh, as, as someone who has been who has spent more than 10 years in providing vulnerability assessment and penetration testing services, in a manual perspective, to me, this Picos is able to do what I offer in a more detailed perspective, in a higher frequency as ever, right? Because when you offer a consulting service, you need to go through the process of planning after accepting the acceptance of the contract, right? You need to go through all the process of planning. You need to do risk assessment because there might be uh, impact to your operation, etc. And you cannot execute majority of your techniques during operations hours. You have to wait for, but what I've seen so far is this Picos enables you or anyone from us to test our controls any time of the day and any time of the week, or depending on how many times you want to test. And another takeaway uh, was able to come up with is you can go to your security vendors and actually ask them to release an update of this specific, for example, the ransomware variant. You can go to your vendor and say, hey, there's a new ransomware variant, and we tested this variant in our environment, and the intrusion prevention system did not prevent. And hey, you can go to your endpoint security vendor and say, hey, there is a new malware variant, and when we tested, so lastly, it breaks the traditional process wherein when a new variant or a new exploit comes out, we just wait. We wait when the vendor will release a patch or an update, right? And during our last session, you mentioned that you have partnerships with the different security vendors, meaning
Correct.
me as a consumer don't have to go to my vendor and say, hey, I have a problem, because you already have a partnership with the vendor.
So yeah, of course, we are in sharing the all findings, but the security controls may work differently in a different infrastructure, right? So yeah, if we are finding something about threats, of course, immediately we are sharing. But the same device with the same configuration may work in a very well in somewhere else, but it cannot work maybe in your organization. So you need to think about of that actually. Maybe in the different uh, type of traffics, maybe in the high workload, maybe security controls will not work as expected. That's why you need to validate those things and contact with the vendors or partners when it's required.
Yes, I mean we are lucky. We are lucky because we have as partners the major security vendors, and they are as aggressive, no, as we are in pursuing highly improved and highly secure community, no, and especially in cyberspace. So it's really, I mean, we as a user of Picos, what you have presented is really something that enabled us to instead of installing a security technology and pray well if it will work or not. This really gives us uh, a very actionable, highly actionable information wherein we can actually engage our partners, no, because of this very detailed uh, assessment as you have shown, and it goes right through the perimeter down to the endpoint level.
Correct.
We have a question, VP Mia.
Yes, Gursel, we have a question, and this is from our NCR president, President Jen. She said, first of all, I am fascinated with the proactive threat hunting idea, and thanks for a wonderful demo walkthrough. However, I'd like to ask your opinion about handling false positives. Is full automation a key to rapidly weed these out, or should we still rely on human experience, such as our SOC analyst, for example, for a more effective threat identification?
Yeah, so thank you. So from the Picus assessment perspective, there is no false positive because we are working with the real world threats. So if it's a real world threat and if it is passing through, and while during the demo you saw that security controls are identifying the issue, that is a vulnerable things, but even I change the configuration, it doesn't apply the right configuration for blocking it. So from the SOC perspective, you will see that issue and you will inform your team. So when it comes to the endpoint efficacy assessment, so we are rely on the MITRE-based assessment. We are focusing on the threat itself. We are executing these things. And if you see this kind of behaviors in your SOC operations, you will create some workflow. But there are more than 600 different type of techniques in the MITRE. So if you try to apply everything, it may create some, of course, false positives. So like CMD key / list command. Maybe some administrators are working on something and they are executing these commands. But I'm telling you, there is a technique and the bad guys can utilize this information at the same time. While you are writing your offense rule around this, what can you add? Okay, this is this specific technique. This is the first thing, but I can add more things near this command. Okay, if you see this behavior on the weekend, on the couple of computers at the same time, and after this command, if you see the brute force command, so we are providing correlation rules at the same time, not a specific technique itself. So if you see this command, after that, if you see the brute force activities, raise an offense. So to reduce the false positive, we are telling you, okay, this action could be used for the administrative template and administrative activities or pen test activities or potential harmful things. So by using those filters, you can work on the SOC part. So of course we need human every time. So we cannot leave it to the product itself. But there is a shorted skills on the red teaming side, also blue teaming side with a less human workforce. It is not easy to cover many things at the same time. We are enable them actually to eliminate the false positives. So they can utilize this platform for eliminate that one, not for the creating the false positive actually.
VP Mia, if I may add, no, in our environment, we have eliminated the false positives, as early as 2016, no, because we make sure that number one, we base our alerts and notifications on verified attacks. When you are using a threat intelligence source, these are verified attacks, verified IOCs. Meaning, if you get an IP address that has been used already in cyber attacks in other countries, that is already a verified information. No? And I noticed that you get a lot of false positives when you use the off-the-shelf use cases provided by the SIM solutions. For example, brute force attack. Brute force attack. Multiple failed logins, right? So you put that as a use case of a brute force attack. But when a user just forget his password and try to input his passwords more than four times, then it will register as a brute force attack. So if you have users who are not really particular in remembering their passwords, it means also a waste of time to your security operations center to act on something that is not really an attack, right? So we in our case, we remove that. We no longer consider failed logins as a brute force attack. Number one, because today the brute force attacks on passwords no longer work, because unlike before where passwords are weak, algorithms used before are weak, it can be brute force. But today, the algorithms that is being used on passwords is strong, and it will take years before a brute force on passwords can be successfully done. So you remove that to your worries. That's why humans are very important, because humans are the ones who will conceptualize and design, and who will make that decision. Failed logins, we don't care about that. Our platform will not drop or will not slow down if there are even thousands of failed logins. So you remove that in your. So it takes a lot of experience, and it takes a lot of analysis, for you to improve your incident response. Remember, you are providing incident response, and if you are responding constantly to false positives, then your team will be exhausted. It's like the boy who cried wolf, right? The boy who cried wolf. The people responded to the boy who cried wolf, but it is not an actual. It was not an actual attack. So in our case, Picus helped us in lowering down the false positives, and then the cyber threat intelligence operation lowered the false positives even more. And the use cases, the threat use cases that you use to correlate against your logs, even reduce that to the lowest level. So in an annual basis, we barely respond to threats that are considered as false positive. But if your cybersecurity professional or if your cybersecurity guy is someone who puts everything or the trust everything on the technology, then false positives will be rampant or constant on a daily basis.
So, Mr. Chair, having a tool is one thing, no? But knowing how to use it, how to use the tool is
Exactly.
another thing.
That's the point. No, that's the point. And I think the vice chair will agree to that when we say that a technology without skills is like having a tree that you expect the tree to move around for you. It's if you're not going to move and climb up the tree, you will never be able to get the fruits unless the fruits just fall and you'll just have to eat. But that that is already a 50-50. If you can still eat the fruit or if the fruit is already overripe, right? So there's been a lot of articles about humans in the field of cybersecurity. It's just as important. Vice Chair.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. Chair. Even in the metaverse, as they said, humans are still,
Hidden.
part of that metaverse ecosystem. So I
Yeah.
agree with that. No? Yeah. Yeah. No, I've been. I think just a quick comment. No. So any cybersecurity program released to prevent a breach. No. And I think the way. I mean, one of the goals to prevent a breach. And I think this continuous validation is really a very key, tool, no, to be part of the security tools that you have. Many cybersecurity tools. It might even reduce the number of security tools that you may
Yep.
buy. And as they say, it's also, I think, based on the presentation, it's also a way for you to showcase the value of your cybersecurity tools, no? By highlighting that these are the total threats, these are the ones that prevented, and so on and so forth. So very good value for any cybersecurity program.
But talking about value, Vice Chair, no, in our own experience, the problem with buying a security device is the difficulty in justifying whether to change or not to change, not to replace yet the device, right?
Yep.
Because you will always face the question, is it working? Yes,
Yeah.
it's working. Also, why replace it? And you say, well, it's already outdated. Well, in what way? Because of the years of it's already 5 years. So this is one of the reasons why you are you are seeing firewalls and intrusion prevention systems that are 5 years, 10 years old, even 15 years old, because it's still working. Because there is no way to measure whether or not the device is still applicable to your needs or not anymore, right? So this is one way that this is one measure that we use for us to get approval to execute a technology improvement or upgrade. And we just show them that with this new technology, this is the capability and these are the threats that have been prevented. Now, with the old ones, as I mentioned, you just get 1%, 2% successful blocking. And the board understood that. They understood that part. No? You sent out 15,000 exploits and you were just able to block 2%. That's crazy. I mean, if I'm the board, that's money, right? It's always about money. And we were able So anyone can use this as a platform to justify improvement in the field of cybersecurity.
And I think, Mr. Chair, this stitches the whole story of your controls because, I mean, sometimes you are deploying controls that are, I'm not saying siloed, no, but it's standalone, preventing a particular attack or tactics or techniques that it's supposed to block, right? But at the end of the day, these controls are all interconnected if you look at it on an end-to-end perspective. So a firewall could be complemented by an IPS and IDS, can be complemented by Endpoint Advanced Security. And this validation technique could really show that, you know, on this part, you are strong because it is blocked, but on the other parts, this is not blocked. So you need to, you know, tweak something on this part of your infrastructure to be able to maximize the control. So I think it will stitch the whole story end to end of the cybersecurity controls.
Yeah, and that's the main reason we replaced right away the antivirus as the use case
Correct.
of Gursel. No, so we ran this the 2018 version of Picus. We sent out exploits to endpoints, and my God, don't, if you're using an antivirus, you should be scared. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
VP Sheila.
Yes, Mr. Chair. So Gursel actually had me at risk quantification. And to your point, anything that we can measure because our budget is very limited, you know, asking money from the board, very limited. So if you can quantify, basically that will justify getting budget, getting support, and the resources we need. And at the same time, because our resources are also limited, if we are able to prioritize because we have the numbers in front of us, then that will make our jobs easier. And I'll always be an advocate if there is a solution that can solve your problems that you're encountering right now, go to the board and present, right? Get that budget approved.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, agree.
Imagine if we can do this in a national scale, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, Vice Chair, I mean, you've talked to a lot of consumers also, and I think nobody claims to be short of being secure, right? Everybody claims to be secure.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure.
This is of the best.
No, actually, that's true. Yeah. So how can you validate the cybersecurity posture of the Philippine cyberspace? No, and do we need the a nationwide deployment of Picos? No, or maybe a breach and attack simulation platform? No, and if you sum up all of the small businesses, the consumers alike, that forms the whole of our usage of the cyberspace. No. It's going to be a gargantuan task. But how can we, I mean, small steps, again, can land us to the moon, but again, can lead us also to a better, PH cyberspace, right? And I think it starts, whoever is listening now, and, Facebook Live, if we can share with so many more people, then, that's a very good step to, again, our mission of having a more secure Philippine cyberspace. Yeah.
Maybe we can ask for Jansu. Maybe we can ask for a demo license. When we have friends in the industry who because this is how Otavio had me subscribing to Picos. No, I was reluctant, and he said, "Okay, you try it on your network." And when I tried it in my network, I said, "Oh shit!" So I'm imagine just a 6% successful blocking. In just one network, right? Just one. Gursel was the one who did that. So this could be something that we can evangelize to our partners also, both in the private and in the government sectors, right? Because it's if you ask them if they're secure, they will always say that they are. No crazy guy who will say we are not secure is going to get fired. No. Maybe we can ask this license and then tell them let's test how many uh, at least on the network security layer. We can show them. You know what? You have a lot of things that needs to be done, and
We have
needs to.
actually some kind of campaigns that we are running. For example, for the Log4j, we have 3 weeks free assessment. So we are already running that kind of campaigns to show the value of our product.
Oh, so what do we do if organization X would want to test? Do
If
we?
organization X would want to test if they are secure in front of Log4j, they could get in touch with us, and if all the everything is all right to test, we are running a 2-week free assessment.
Yeah. So we can mention to Picus.io maybe there is actually a very basic thing. So even you without installing anything to your infrastructure, you can start the assessment. So we developed that module. So people can connect to our website, then click the assessment. By using their own browsers, we can test their network security controls if they are vulnerable to attacks or
But
not.
but I have to say, Garcelle, that is not a very effective strategy. You need to be. I mean, a lot of vendors did that already in the past, right?
Mhm.
Vulnerability assessments. You go to our website, we assess them. That's not very. You need to do what you did back then in 2016. You need to engage. You need to engage the
We have, of course,
person.
we are doing, yeah. Of course, we are continuously doing that, like a breach and attack simulation. So continuously,
Because we
uh,
can we can we can recommend, we can endorse uh, you guys to with for to test this customers
of
environment.
course,
And yeah, I mean
of course.
we have uh we'd be able to do that. And if not, then your local partner can take care.
This is a GTM strategy, of course.
Yeah.
So we have something for that. So we invest to the APAC region. So we open office. So we are supporting the field, of course, with the partners and distributors. With you, thank you for your cooperation as well. So we will keep doing that. But if the people wants to uh, test the product itself with the limited functions, they can choose that way before coming to us. So this is just an option, but of course we will be doing that at background.
Yep. I think we have a question, VP Alex.
Oh, yes, Mr. Chair. So, yeah, there's another question here that was posted by a comment actually from Orlando, the same type of question. So, maybe collaboration with academic institution would also contribute to the nationwide awareness campaign. Agree. So the question that he has for you, Kansu, is that how many university po kaya is willing to use Picus? Ito hindi nila masasagot to actually.
Yeah, maybe VP Alex, you can ask Gursel if there are any universities today using Picus.
Yeah. Do you have a collaboration with the educational institution here in the Philippines or in any other countries, Gursel?
So yeah, we have references from the universities, even including the military academies. So
Okay.
So they are using Picus for training their students about the threats. So on the SOC sites and etc. So they are providing that kind of informations. Also, we are attending to the some classes to give about information, the threats and etc. So yeah, we have a collaboration in here, but of course we would like to extend it to the Philippines. So for supporting the communities actually, so we have an online training platform. So we would like to support the channel through the online platform. So it is easy to reach out at the same time to every country, right? So, but if there's a specific requirement for the Philippines, of course, we would like to work on it and we would like to support you on that part as well.
So we just get in touch with Jansu.
Yeah,
Jansu,
please.
yeah.
Yeah, Jansu will be the right person to arrange these kind of things.
Yes, we already in especially in Northern Europe, in the UK, we are getting invited by the university events, technology events, as a speakers, and we have some kind of engagements. We could also discuss about them offline.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Actually,
So
a lot of interested members are excited for the deep dive training for this Picus that you can provide. Next week we already have one, and I hope we can do training for Picus.
because of
We'll invite students and professionals. We are 6 minutes away from 30 minutes
Extension.
extension, overtime.
30 minutes.
Very exciting topic kasi, Mr. Chair. Kaya medyo, even
Yeah.
us, I think we're so excited
We're
to
learning.
discuss.
Yeah, it's really something, when you believe for so many years that you are good with what you do, and then Picos comes in and tells you, hey, you're just 6% effective.
That's scary.
and you
There's so
start,
many
oh my god, what's happening?
Actually, that's the exact comment, Vice Chair Oka, when Mr. Chair and I presented to the board when we showed the data that we are only blocking this much. So the top management said, "That's scary, Alex."
No board member, whether old or young, will not
Yeah.
understand that. So that's really something. Okay, VP Mia.
Yes, Mr. Chair, before we leave, we just would like to remind everyone that the Gigamon training is next week already, February 24. And
Wow.
you can register. It's free for active members. So if you are an active member, just register, just let us know. And slots are limited, so first come, first serve basis.
Yeah. So register. It's a very, very good training actually, because Gigamon presented way back on our KC. So this is more on network related security controls that they could put as a probe to your infrastructure. So this is a nice training. So those of you who want to learn a lot more, please attend this one.
Yes, VP Alex, actually they are saying that they got carried away and it's okay to extend until 7 p.m. Yeah, but I guess VP Alex, let's do last round for everyone. Maybe Gursel, we start with you.
Final words, yeah.
That you want to share?
Yeah. Thank you. Actually, I would like to say thank you for your patience during the technical session. So I know the non-technical persons doesn't want to see many things between the solutions and etc. But I would like to say thank you for your patience, and I'm happy to see you for the next presentation for the deep dive training. That's all on my side. Thank you to you also bring us today together. It is good to see you again.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Gursel. How about you, Jansu?
I'm okay with that.
She's
Thank you.
agree.
Thank you for joining
She's
us.
agreeing to me. As a
I
non-technical.
just checked my calendar on my mind. And
Yeah. VP Sheila, how about you?
Yes, VP Mia. So for me, takeaways ko is visibility, validation, risk quantification. And we're all looking forward to the deep dive session with Picus. And in behalf of the Pix Pro board, we want to thank you for being our tech partner. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. Vice Chair?
Okay, so in addition to what I already mentioned, no, so I think this tool allows you to enrich your SOC analysts, no, improves the human capability to prevent against more modern attackers, as they say, you know, and also improves your vendors, your technology vendors, no, by pointing out the misconfigs and so on and so forth, no. So eventually, net, it's gonna be very good for any organization of any size, I believe, because there's also the solution from maybe SMEs up to the biggest companies, no. So thank you so much, Picos, and looking forward to have this session with again, the universities are actually asking a lot of questions. When can we do it, etc. So we'll be looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Mr. Chair?
okay.
All right. Before I go to the message, no, if you notice, yung nasa on top sa mga ulo namin, no, hindi lang 5, naging 10 na. So we have added 5 more partners on top of Archer, Fortinet, F5, Gigamon, Palo Alto. We now have Exclusive Networks, Mandiant, Nokia, Picus, and Watson, Westcon.
Westcon.
We have Westcon. So we are growing, and more technology partners or technology would-be partners are asking us to join the advocacy to provide training and awareness to the Filipino community. And for this session, it's thank you, Gursel, for your technical expertise, and thank you, Jansu, for being here with us to provide answers to partnerships and marketing questions. Right? And the takeaway is zero trust. Zero trust includes you not trusting yourself. Never trust yourself. You know, in my 28 years in this field, I never trusted myself. I always look for someone or something to verify my work. That's my takeaway for this session. Back to you, VP Mia and VP Alex.
Yes, very nice, Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, Mr. Chair. Very inspiring.
Yeah. VP Alex, ako muna. For me,
Yeah.
my takeaway, I just want to echo what Mr. Chair mentioned earlier. He also mentioned all the logos here. So I just want to highlight, he mentioned about the partnership, right? Which we always say in cybersecurity is very important. Not just with vendors, but with the entire community, whether it's private or public sector. And that's what we're doing, right? VP Alex?
Okay, so for me, before I end up this session, before I wrap up, so I'll just give my perspective. More than the technical, so my key takeaway today is that the realization of, we are in cybersecurity, and cybersecurity is a continuous learning. So it's not just between you and yourself. It is more than the partnership that we have. So with the technology partner, and here at Pix Pro, we are using this as a platform to have the awareness expanded through the community, not only our community but to the rest of the Filipinos. And we are happy that we are mixing the profession with the advocacy to be able for us to create a safer cyberspace in the Philippines. So that's it for me. Again, it's Friday night. Thank you very much for staying tuned with us. Again, as always, Mr. Chair is saying, sa cybersecurity,
Happy lang.
ilang
Walang
Ang
weekend.
weekend. Thank you. Thank you,
Bye,
Africa.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everybody.
Have a great dinner. Happy weekend.
Happy
Bye-bye.
weekend.